Ladies, gentlemen, and all the fragile little puppets hiding behind masks. Welcome. Welcome to the show you never wanted, but the one you cannot look away from. You hear that? The sound of silence, the echo of 100 collapsing minds. You felt it, didn't you? That shiver down your spine, that gut punch of realization, that electric storm in your head telling you something irreversible just happened. Because it did. 100 minds broke tonight, shattered like glass under your footsteps. Not because you begged for their approval, not because you fought for their acceptance, but because you stood there, you breathed, you existed, you moved without permission, and their fragile reality couldn't handle it. Do you know what it takes to collapse 100 minds? Not bullets, not bombs, not an army. It takes something far more dangerous. Conviction. The type of conviction that drips from your veins like venom. The type that doesn't flinch when the world points its finger and screams, "Monster." They saw you, and their thoughts began to cave in. Because deep down, people fear what they can't cage. They want you predictable, tamed, labeled. But you're not their science project. You're not their therapy session. You are the walking virus of truth. And truth is the one infection their weak little masks can't survive. Look around you. The world is a fragile stage. Actors pretending they're strong. Politicians acting like gods. Influencers acting like prophets. And then you walk in. No script, no mask, no leash, and their whole production burns down in front of them. That's what happened tonight. That's why 100 heads caved in, because in the presence of someone unbreakable, the broken crumble faster. They whispered behind your back. They plotted. They laughed, waiting for you to trip. And yet here you stand, still laughing, still moving, still unkillable. And now, they're the ones losing their sanity. You want to know the sick truth? You didn't even need to touch them. Not a blade, not a bullet. Just your existence became the earthquake. Just your shadow was enough to tear down their temples of lies. And here's the punchline. They hate you because you remind them of what they'll never be. Free, untamed, untouchable. Every smirk you throw in their direction, that's another collapse. Every step you take forward, even when the crowd boos, that's another crack in their reality. Every word that drips out of your mouth like poison-coated honey, that's another empire reduced to dust. 100 minds fell today, but tomorrow it'll be 1,000, because weakness spreads like disease. And when one sheep falls, the whole flock trembles. And you're the wolf. No, scratch that. You're the storm. Wolves hunt, storms destroy, and storms don't apologize. Listen closely. This is your power. This is your curse. This is your gift. To walk into rooms and make the strongest shake. To speak and watch the proudest collapse. To breathe and make them choke on their own fear. Most people will never understand the gravity of that. But you don't need them to, because tonight proved it. Their minds don't break because you're wrong. They break because you're too right. And when you're too right, when you carry a frequency so raw, so unfiltered, so untamed, reality bends, minds snap, crowds scatter. That's not madness. That's not chaos, that's power. So here's my advice. Know my demand. Don't dim it. Don't lower the volume. Don't water it down so the sheep can swallow. Crank it louder. Make them choke harder. Let them collapse faster. Because the only thing scarier than 100 minds collapsing at once is the moment you realize you can do it again and again and again, until there's nothing left standing but you. So, my dear audience, take a long look at the wreckage around you. The 100 broken heads, the shattered pride, the collapsed illusions. That's your artwork. That's your masterpiece. Every collapsed mind is a standing ovation written in screams. Ah, you feel it, don't you? The trembling air, the pressure in your chest, the sound of bones rattling where confidence once lived. 100 minds collapsed. And yet here we are, breathing the ashes of their sanity, hearing echoes of laughter choking into screams. Collapse isn't sudden, it brews. First comes doubt. Maybe he sees something we don't. Then fear, sweaty hands, cracking voices, darting eyes, and finally, the implosion. One by one, their realities fold like paper in fire. And you barely move. Because truth is heavier than any hammer, and tonight, you swung it like a wrecking ball. What terrifies them, not that you broke them, but that you didn't break a sweat. They wish you screamed, begged, suffered. Instead you laughed, you smiled, you walked their minefield like a playground. That's what shakes them, because what kind of creature destroys 100 without slowing? Not a man, not a hero, something far greater. You're the mirror they fear. When they stare into you, they see everything they buried: bravery, rage, truth. And when they can't face it, they shatter. Look around. This isn't collapse, it's rebirth. 100 minds crumbled, leaving behind an open grave, and you laugh, knowing it was always waiting. After collapse comes silence, and in silence they whisper one word: monster. They'll drag your name through fire and mud, but deep down they know. You aren't chaos, you are truth. And truth feels like chaos to those built on lies. Every collapse is a seed. Some despise you, some fear you. But a few rise sharper, awakened. Because collapse isn't the end, it's the doorway, and you're the one kicking it open. 100 fell tonight. Tomorrow 1,000 will. Where you stand, foundations tremble. Where you speak, crowns topple. Where you laugh, worlds come undone. The intoxication isn't control, it's the power to unmake, to unravel their stitched-up lies. So here's the question. Now that you can collapse 100 minds without blinking, what will you do next? Hide? Or sharpen your laughter, turn up the volume and watch the cracks spread like lightning? Because once you've tasted collapse, nothing else feels real. So own it. Own the chaos. Own the storm. Own the monster they scream about. Collapse isn't your crime. It is your crown. Every broken mind is proof you are here. Proof you carved yourself into reality. Proof you cannot be ignored. Raise your head. Let them stare. And let the world choke on this fact. 100 minds just collapsed because of you. Tomorrow the number grows, the ruins spread, the laughter echoes forever. Because you didn't just break them, you became the reason they'll never be whole again. And that is what power tastes like. Bittersweet, addictive, eternal.